Julie Malkin of Lucas County Children's Services is here to explain. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
You know, we always take April every year to set that time aside and just think about our kids and think about, what's happening in our community. And unfortunately, you see it every day, but we may not know exactly what's happening in our community. So let's talk a little bit about Child Abuse Prevention Month and what we're seeing here in Lucas County.
Sure. More than 1,700 kids were confirmed to have been victims of abuse or neglect last year in Lucas County. We averaged about 1,000 calls a month, each month. 1,000 calls from people who are concerned about the well-being of a child. You know, our agency leads the community in the protection of children, but we can't do it alone. We rely very heavily on the community. You know, we don't want to be in people's homes. We don't want to get involved unless we really have to. So that means we have to rely on the community to say something if they believe a child is at risk of being harmed or is indeed being harmed.
Right, and it looks like in 2021, you saw a little spike there of kids being placed in your custody, about 22% increase. So any idea what that might be stemming from?
Well, the pandemic kind of threw a monkey wrench into things. We had a difficult time, communicating with people. The people who normally catch these sorts of issues with families, like teachers and coaches and pastors, families were not seeing those folks. So when we were able to get out and see everyone, we found that we had a little bit of a backlog of folks who needed our assistance that just because of the pandemic we didn't see as often as we should. So that probably has a lot to do with it. The good news is that we're doing a much better job when we do have to get involved with the family of keeping that family together. Used to be in child welfare, we would remove a child immediately if we thought there was something going on in the household. Well, now what we're doing is we are leaving the family as intact as possible and flooding the family with services, whether it's parenting classes or drug treatment or mental health treatment. We do everything we can to provide services so the family can stay together.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if that isn't the case at that time, the goal is always to reunite those families in the end, So it's always the goal that you all are working on there. Yeah. Something that we can all do next week, we are asking people to get in the closet and wear blue on April 13th.
Absolutely. To emphasize the point that it takes an entire community to join together to end child abuse, we ask everyone to wear something blue on Wednesday, April 13th. Take a picture of themselves or their friends or their kids or their office mates and post it on our Facebook page, which is Facebook/Lucas County Children's Services, and tag it #OhioWearsBlue. And you will join folks from all over Ohio in wearing blue and saying that you believe that, as a community, we should stand up and prevent child abuse. It's by working together that we can keep kids safe.
And I have my blue on today, but don't worry, I have plenty more where this came from that I'll be wearing on the 13th as well. And then at the end of the month, this is always a really tough day, but on the 28th is when we're having the Child Memorial Service. So how many children are we going to be honoring this year?
Well, we will be honoring 9 children this year, which is always one too many. What's interesting this year is that we did not lose a child to physical abuse, which is a good thing. It tells us that we're taking care of our kids. Unfortunately, though, 6 of the children that we will remember were victims of gun violence.
Oh, wow.
People firing guns indiscriminately, or they were caught in the middle of crossfire. So we will remember them particularly and recommit ourselves to ending gun violence in the community. I know that you'll be hearing from Toledo Police Chief George Krall and Wendy Huntley from Connecting Kids to Meals as part of our event. And Chief Krall has some strong words about the reasons that we need to get gun violence under control in our community.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a troubling trend there. 6 out of 9 kids. Okay. Again, make sure that you remember, mark those dates down. The 28th is the day for the memorial, but the 13th is the day that we really want everybody in the community to come together, get involved, wear your blue, post about it on social media. We want to see that. We want to spread that message. Julie, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You bet.
Yep. Take care.